This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. News 25 is also brought to you by Silver State Health, Pahrumps exclusive pediatric care clinic. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
Hi, I'm Missy Kohler. It's Friday, April 9th.
Well, 400 Johnson & Johnson vaccines were given yesterday and 250 so far today at the FEMA vaccine pod located at the Bob Roode Community Center on the corner of Basin Avenue and Highway 160. They are there until 7 p.m. tonight and from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. tomorrow for those 18 years or older for their appointments, which are not necessary.
The IRS has extended additional tax deadlines to May 17th, following the extension of the filing and payment deadline for individuals to May 17th, 2021. The IRS announced other tax deadline extensions to the same date. The IRS says that they have extended the deadline contributions to IRAs and health savings accounts. People now automatically have until May 17th, 2021 to make 2020 contributions to their individual retirement arrangements, health savings accounts, Archer medical savings accounts, Coverdell education savings accounts. The deadline for reporting and paying the 10% additional tax on amounts included in gross income from 2020 distributions from IRAs or workplace-based retirement plans is now May 17th, 2021. Lastly, the due date for Form 5498 series returns related to these accounts is now June 30th, 2021. To find out the complete list of extensions, go to irs.gov.
Well, at the April 6th Board of County Commissioners meeting, the commissioners edited and finalized a resolution to send to the governor's office asking to terminate the state of emergency that was declared on March 13th, 2020 in response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The agenda item began with a statement from District Attorney Chris Arabia.
Madam Chair, may I briefly?
Oh, of course. May we hear from the DA first?
Thank you. I just wanted to put on the record that this item did not pass legal review.
There was a great deal of citizen comment at the meeting in support of sending the resolution and ending the state of emergency.
I urge this body to realize that each of us will act in our own best self-interest. Each individual will take precautions that they deem fit, and that is the best solution. Commissioners, you do not have to plan anything. I say end the fear, let's get on with life, open the county.
When enacted, the declaration was meant to open access to the state's emergency resources and ensure that these resources were at the state's disposal to respond to the COVID crisis. Many associate the state of emergency declaration with the quarantine, the stay-at-home order, and the closing of essential businesses. But it did do more. Because of the state of emergency that was declared in Nevada and across states in the nation, the federal government created the CARES Act that provided funding to state and local government programs for children, families, seniors, law enforcement, and healthcare providers. Part of the funding the state received included an estimated $1 billion that was distributed directly to entities within Nevada. Outside of the CARES Act, Nevada has received over $1 million in federal appropriations and grant funding since the beginning of the pandemic in support of frontline workers and vital safety programs. Because of the state declaration of emergency, there has been no-cost COVID testing as well as vaccinations provided to Nevadans. In January, both Governor Steve Sisolak and Attorney General Aaron Ford stated that resolutions that were passed by Lyon, White Pine, Eureka, and Elko counties have no force of law and cannot override the governor's emergency directives. They further stated that the directives have been issued under state law and upheld in courts several times. District Attorney Chris Arabia expressed his concerns once again.
It sounds like it's implying basically that we're going to disregard the state government. And you can put that in the resolution and you can vote for it. Just make sure you understand that that's how that's going to be interpreted.
Edits to the resolution were completed. Before taking the vote, Commissioner Carboni wanted those in attendance to realize that there could be consequences that come with asking for the termination of the Governor's Act.
So, a couple of questions for all you guys, and that's also the people in the public. Just want to make sure, if you're asking us as commissions to do what this resolution says, or even the next item, responsibility is all on you. Okay, that you're asking us to go do that and we're allowing it. Let's say if we agree. So that means whatever financial responsibilities come from this, you're also responsible for it. Just remember those things when you start talking about what you want to do. Just because we're telling him, the governor, that we don't like what he's doing doesn't mean he's going to stop sending his people here to evaluate us and also to fine us. So the financial responsibilities is back to us and back to the people. So just remember that. I know people out there are probably thinking, so what? But if you have a business and we tell you to go in there and open that business 100%, and you take off all your masks or you leave your masks on or whichever, and you get evaluated, somebody gives you a fine, that's going to be your fine, not the county's fine. Just remember, you're asking us to do this, and we're going to oblige your request. So it's not going to be our responsibility. Just letting you understand, responsibility lies on who's requesting it, and we're going to support it. Just remember that.
The commissioners approved the rewrite of the resolution 5-0. They will sign it and send it to the office of the governor.
We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Thanks for staying with us. President Biden reveals details of his 2022 government budget. The president signs an executive action to help curb gun sales, and a greater number of people than expected file for unemployment.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, President Biden is expected to reveal his proposed spending plan for the 2022 government budget today. That budget will likely face challenges in the Senate. 60 votes are needed to approve the 12-month spending bill that keeps the government running. Also from the White House, the president detailed his executive actions to curb gun sales, including allowing people to flag family members who might not be able to handle owning a gun. Gun stocks, including Vista Outdoors and Sturm, Ruger and Company, had a muted reaction. Vista had a slight gain, and Ruger had a slight loss. Checking the economy, the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits for the first time recently totaled 744,000. That was more than the 694,000 economists predicted.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much. Well, a Pahrump boy likes to go fast, and he's living that dream by racing at Pahrump Valley Speedway. Meet 5-year-old Raylan Intencio.
I like racing. I like going fast.
He started liking racing a couple years ago after following Jake Pike, and that's when he wanted a race car, so Mom bought him one.
Jake Pike is another young driver who likes to tear up the track at Pahrump Valley Speedway. Marlena says Jake is a family friend and a mentor to her son. Raylan got his first taste of racing by riding with Jake.
And Jake actually built the body to this car for Raylan because he looked up to him.
In addition to help from Jake, Parker's Kawasaki and Pahrump is pitching in to help Raylan reach his racing dreams. Nature Health Farms also hosted a fundraiser for Raylan. Donations are helping him pay for his racing entry fees, which are $45 per race. If you'd like to fuel Raylan's love for dirt track racing, you can still donate to help him out.
They could get a hold of me on Facebook, Marlena Claros' Facebook, or at the racetrack, or through Alex or Isabel.
Raylan competes in the mini dwarf class at Pahrump Valley Speedway. For more information about the race events and when you might catch Raylan in action, just go to their website, PahrumpValleySpeedway.com.
And they're racing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. If it seems like you get a lot of unwanted calls, you might be right. Cell phone and internet comparison website WhistleOut crunched the numbers and found Nevada to be one of the worst states for robocalls last year.
If you live in Nevada and find your phone ringing with those annoying robocalls, there's a good reason why. A new analysis finds Nevadans were bombarded by a lot of robocalls last year. In fact, only 5 states got more of those annoying calls, including our neighbors to the south, Arizona, which was number 1 on the list. Here's Here's a breakdown of the numbers. Whistle Out says an estimated 45 billion robocalls were placed in the U.S. in 2020. The average American received around 12 robocalls per month. In Nevada, residents were estimated to have been robocalled more than 525 million times last year. As for the overall picture of the issue, eastern coastal states and western states topped the most bothered by robocalls rankings for 2020. The top 10 hardest hit states for robocalls in 2020, starting with the worst, were Arizona, Maine, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Nevada, Colorado, Illinois, New Jersey, and Ohio. In order to calculate the robocall rankings, the Whistle Out team analyzed data from the do not call complaints registered by the Federal Trade Commission and the estimated number of robocalls made per capita around the country. For a closer look at their analysis, head to whistleout.com.
We have more News 25 coming right up.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Well, April is Donate Life Month. Meet a 29-year-old who found himself in a dark place, struggling with mental health issues after business failures, financial setbacks, and loneliness. See how giving the gift of life to his young nephew ended up saving his own. Erica Foreman has the story.
After taking family photos in November 2019, Andrea and Matt Campbell noticed their then 1-year-old son, Brooks, looked yellow. The next morning, he threw up, and they took him to the doctor.
Structurally, his liver looked fine, but his liver numbers in his labs were astoundingly high.
Brooks was suffering from acute liver failure, possibly triggered by RSV.
The GI doctor came in and sat us down and said, we're going to transport you to Cleveland Clinic in case he needs a liver transplant. It was like just a ton of bricks. I mean, where did this come from?
The situation was really, really urgent. So when he came in, he already didn't have almost any liver function left.
Brooks needed a liver transplant to survive. As the Campbells gathered to offer support, Andrea's brother Grant flew in from Texas.
It was just so hard to see the little guy, just like, you could tell he was giving up and his body was giving up. And that was just so hard.
The Campbells couldn't be living donors for medical reasons, but Grant turned out to be a perfect match.
I felt like I was supposed to be there for a reason, and I started to think, oh my gosh, this is that reason. I'm supposed to be the donor.
In less than an hour, he and Brooks were being wheeled into operating rooms, where Brooks received a small piece of Grant's liver.
What's on your belly? They always say kids are resilient. He would have these bulging stitches in his belly, and he's like jumping over the couch, like nothing's going on. Once we came home, he just blossomed into this new little boy.
Ready, get him, come here.
There's always going to be a special bond between he and Brooks now. He gave us the gift of life, and I don't know how you ever thank anyone enough for that.
I kind of jokingly say that someday I'm going to write a book, and in the front I'm going to write it dedicated to Brooks. People said I saved your life that night in November, but in reality you saved mine.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Okay, I'm not crying. I swear. All right, to this day, Andrea wears a bracelet inscribed with "Let's Go, Baby," the words Grant shouted when he called to tell her he matched Brooks' donor. Brooks and Grant have both recovered since the surgery and are thriving.
It's Friday. It's time for us to go meet another great pet available from one of our local shelters. For today's Save a Pet, Dario O'Donnell introduces us to a cat named Romeo.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Debbie here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are with Romeo. Romeo got his name because they say on his little card in his description that he became a stray because he was probably out looking for some lady friends. Romeo is a 2-year-old tabby domestic short hair, so he has a beautiful little white face, and then that kind of like tortoise shell coloring with the black and then the beiges and the grays all over. he's a lover. He really is. His name is so fitting. He loves being pet. He loves being held. I've been holding him for quite some time because he's just so cute. And he really doesn't mind. He wants to go over here and stand on the cage so I can pet his face because he likes that a lot. If you want to come and see Romeo or any of the cats here in the cat room, please give Desert Haven a call ahead of time to make an appointment. 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Look at that beautiful skies.
Wow, it looks gorgeous out. Can't wait to hear what the weekend weather's like. And John's got that forecast coming right up.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and stick a fork in it. She's done. It's a Friday. Hooray! Well, let's take a look at the weather heading on into the weekend. Up in Fernley and Fallon, 73 degrees. A little cooler down in Carson City and Tonopah, about 68. Goldfield, you're up to 71. Precocious, look at you, Goldfield. Beatty sporting in at 79 degrees. Amargosa and Las Vegas, both at 83. And in Death Valley, California, 94 degrees currently. It'll get down to 63 tonight. But here in the Paradise of Pahrump, wow, looking fine at 81, wonderful degrees. Currently, 83 was our high this afternoon. So I was out poolside. I enjoyed that 9-mile-an-hour breeze coming out of the west-southwest. Felt good with a little bit of heat. Yeah, man, got my swimsuit right dry, and then I was ready to jump back in. Sun rose this morning at 6:18 a.m. Setting this evening about 7:12. Look for the Tiki Torch celebration. That'll be lots of fun. Low tonight, 51 degrees. As we head on into the week, it's going to be pretty nice, really nice, actually. 86-degree weekend we've got in store for you. 15-mile-per-hour winds, making it reasonably tolerable on Saturday and Sunday. Winds calming down just a little bit. You'll see the winds kicking up as we head on into the week. Monday, Tuesday, it's getting a little bit ferocious, and temperatures diving down about 15 degrees. We'll see a kind of a low end throughout the week at 71 degrees on Wednesday, and then it'll be heating back up again as the winds die down. Clouds coming and going, but we're not going to see a whole lot of rain. It's it's the desert. What are you going to do? But gorgeous weekend. Looking forward to it, and we will catch you on the other side. Back to the desk. It's Missy, Indiana.
Thanks so much, John. Well, we do want to remind everybody once again that the vaccination pod from FEMA is down there at the Bob Roode Community Center at the corner of Basin and Highway 160. It will be there till 7 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. You don't need an appointment. It's for 18 years and older.
Something to consider, though, is if you have to wait in line, you're going to want a chair and you're going to want to bring a water bottle, make sure you're good and hydrated, maybe even a little sunscreen. Just prepare in case there is a line.
Yeah, because it is hot out there. And we did see some people not feeling so well. They are going to be having one, I believe, in Beatty on Monday, and I think we have that flyer as well. That's going to be happening there on Monday, April 12th, from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m., and that is at the Emergency Management Station 31, right there at 309 Hoyt Street. They're in Beatty. Of course, first come, first serve, and 18 years or older. And, of course, you can find out more on NyeCounty.net.
And they are giving the single-dose Janssen shot. So it's just a one shot, one doser, and that's what they're giving for ages 18 and up.
Exactly. And remember, we talked about Rayland at Pahrump Valley Speedway. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. is the race. They're at Pahrump Valley Speedway. You can find out more by going to PahrumPValleySpeedway.com or looking on their Facebook page. That's going to do it for tonight's news. We'll see you back here on Monday. I'm Deanna.
I'm Missy. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Good night.